What's up, YouTube? This is going to be another quick video where I talk about one of the gods in Smite. This particular video is going to be about Scylla, who is also known as the Horror of the Deep. She is a god in the Greek pantheon, and she is a mage-style god. She generally will be seen in the mid lane if you're playing Conquest. You don't really want to venture out into the soul lane with her because even though she does have an escape, she's pretty squishy, gankable type of god. Um, She's definitely not the best mage in the game, but she's a lot of fun. I'd say she's probably A plus tier around there. But she's still pretty viable and ranked, and definitely you can play her in casuals as well. So I just wanted to spend some time talking about her kit and some combos which work well with her, and also what to do if you're playing against the Scylla and how to avoid some of that burst damage. So I'll talk about her passive first. So her passive is pretty interesting. It gives each of her abilities an extra ability at each of their max ranks. So at rank 5 of her first ability, which is a root, she gains 2 extra roots. So when she shoots her root forward, she will root 2 extra enemies. Her second ability at max rank will also shred protections and will also, I believe, slow as well. I might be wrong about that, but I believe it slows as well. Her third ability, which is an a ward teleport kind of thing, which you just saw there, um, she can you place it on the ground and then teleport to it later, and it will also allow her vision on the map. And at max rank, the teleport will get a little bit of extra range, and I believe the ward will also have some extra visibility as well at max rank. So some tips about how I use her and some of the combos that I use, which you can see in this video. The main thing is to try to hit enemies with your root first, and then to follow it up with your AoE, or your ultimate. The root really guarantees that damage will go off, and then you'll notice that since she's so squishy and you really want to build her full burst, that you really need the teleport in order to get out of fights. But it's also a great tool to get into fights as well. If God's really low and you need to chase them, you can use the teleport to get a little bit of extra range on them, like you saw right there. But in general, you're going to want to stay back in team fights just like any other mage. I think even more so with Scylla because her 2 does have a long range on it, so you can stand back in the team fights and just pop it off. Another thing to note about her 2 and her 3, and actually her 4 as well, is you actually have to activate it twice. So you have to activate the ability and then pop it, which can actually be a little tricky with the 2. So you'll be button mashing a lot with her 2 and her 3, trying to pop them off as quickly as possible. And if you're playing against Scylla, the biggest thing that I can recommend is if you see her go into her ult, run towards her, because a good Scylla player will try to put the AoE of their ult behind the enemy as they're running away, because they know that they're going to run into it. So if you start running away from the Scylla, and then right when you think she's about to ult, you should just juke and go towards her. That might save you. So that's a little quick tip. As far as builds go, I think some key items are Soul Reaver, brought up to Hootie, Obsidian Shard. Any kind of high damaging burst item is key on Scylla. Cooldown reduction you can also do. I would also recommend Polynomicon because you can root, and then after the root you can guarantee a basic attack, and that basic attack will do a bunch of damage with Polynomicon, so I would definitely recommend that as well. And that's pretty much it. That's a short overview of Scylla. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, like the video if you like it, and if there's something else you would like to hear me talk about, let me know. And if you have any suggestions about what gods you'd like to see, just put in the comments. So I'll talk to you later.